So last Thursday, I ran another Life and Money event, and it was a really, really fruitful conversation. It was all on the topic of money and regrets, which naturally turned into life regrets, right? That's just where that conversation led to. And it reminded me, it surprises me every time how few people are actually aware of Viktor Frankl's work. Incredible, life-changing book if you want to read Man's Search for Meaning. It's really the story of someone who went through the Holocaust and found hope through the Holocaust. Now, if you can imagine a Holocaust survivor actually finding hope from such a horrific experience of life, or what so many people would define as horrific, you know that it's a message that's worthwhile reading, or at least hearing about. So I'm putting that out there to read, for you guys to read, or to at least check out, or at least read the summary notes, something. But you got to be aware of that concept and that story. He's a psychologist or a psychotherapist, and he ended up introducing a concept called logotherapy, which is finding meaning in everything that's happening in life, good and bad, which means ultimately you can kind of see all of life as good. And so the reason I'm sharing this is because it was really fascinating as we were discussing this topic in this group, and everyone was so supportive with each other. We ended up really exploring this concept of, was it worthwhile having done what I regretted? So one person, for example, shared that they spent 10 years in this, she spent 10 years in this really masculine state and always just focused on an objective and getting something done and being logical and thinking and doing it rationally and getting there and trying to work it all out. And she's, I wish that I had done that I'd stopped that 10 years earlier. Like, I wish that I'd become more of who I am today 10 years earlier, because it would have just been a better 10 years of life. And so we explored what that really meant. Who is she as a result of having done that for the last 10 years? How much more has she grown? How much more has she improved? What does she have in her life? And eventually dawned on her that she wouldn't have had her daughter 9 years ago if she had become the person that she is today 10 years beforehand. And she's now exceptionally grateful as a result of the conversation and the support of the group. She actually found it within herself to be exceptionally grateful for this past 10 years of being so focused and high energy and stress, and because she's got this beautiful 9-year-old daughter as a result. And as we went around, we found the same thing with everybody, or something very similar with everyone. So anytime that you're regretting something, this was the key takeaway from the event, is that anytime you're actually regretting something, or regretting something which has happened, or what you've done or what you haven't done, recognize that there are benefits to that as well. And recognize that your life wouldn't be anywhere near as exceptional as it is today if it weren't for some of those really negative experiences. Because always, every moment of growth that I've ever seen in others, and especially in myself, has always been as a result of pain, frustration, discomfort, annoyance, things which we don't want at the time that they're actually happening. And often even afterwards, we didn't want them to happen either way. But that's what's allowed us to grow. That's what's allowed us to improve and become the people that we are today, to be able to add the value to others as we're able to add that we can today, to be able to create impact in the world, to be able to connect with other people. And so if there's anything which you can take away from my quick summary, my relatively quick summary of last Thursday's event, is that if you can find whatever's causing you frustration and angst and stress and annoyance, and if you can find a way to really connect with the benefits of that and how it served you, and recognize who you are today is so different as a result of those hard times that you went through, then your entire experience of life is going to change. Something which I ask almost all of my coaching clients now is not just how satisfied they are with their life, but when they think about the past, how satisfied are they with their past? And when they think about the future, how satisfied are they with their view of the future? Because while we can live in the moment and in the present moment, it's actually something which is really difficult to do. It's spiritual teaching. You got people who do 30,000 hours of meditation practice and they still call it a meditation practice. It's something which is difficult to do, right? And if you're able to find a way to connect with a much more kind of secure attachment to the past and a more exciting view or version of the future, then it makes living in this present moment a whole lot easier. So if I can share anything, it's that if you have regrets, look at how those regrets have supported you and how they've served you and how they've helped you become even better today as a result, what you've learned from it, and what you've actually really learned from that pain and who you've become as a result. And then connect with that past in a much more beautiful way instead of being in the current place and where you currently are from a space of resentment or frustration, which just means that you're looking towards the future with anxiety or distress, and fear. So I hope this helps. Let me know your thoughts.